We were supposed to head down south today to meet up with some friends down at McDowell Mountain Park near Phoenix, which is a day's drive, 6-hour, 7-hour drive from here. The last time we had snow, I was plowing in the plow truck, which puts off a lot of exhaust, and also running the snowblower, and I developed a dry cough. And I thought that would go away in a few days, or a day, or whatever. It's persisted a little bit, so Monday we decided I better go get a COVID test just to make sure, because I've had this dry cough for about 5 days now, at that time. And so we did that. It's 3 to 5 days before we get our results. And so today was the day we were supposed to drive. We're not going to go down there until we know.
Right, because unlike our other travels, we're meeting up with people to camp with and share a campsite. And we're pretty isolated in our van, but in this case, we're going to be mingling with our friends. And it's just best to stay as safe as possible and take all precautions.
Yeah.
We're not feeling sick. There's just some little tiny hints of some symptoms, so we just want to play it safe.
It takes 3 to 5 days to get results for the COVID test here in Durango. And I think that's because we're about 6 hours from Denver. And because we're in Colorado, Denver is the nearest city. And the tests have to go to Denver to get processed, and then we get the results after that.
Well, we are finally ready to go. We are going to go on another trip. And we've been getting ready, and we're finally ready to go. Matt's test came back negative, so we feel comfortable traveling and being with our friends. So it's been a scramble.
Yeah, so we took us another couple hours to get everything loaded, as you could see. And now we're heading out, going down south.
Yeah.
Going to go bike riding, visit our friends, do some camping, and get out of Dodge.
Yeah, there's no snow expected, so we feel like we've got a window of time where we can be gone, where we don't need to be plowing. And we're going to get on the road and pick up some food on the way, because I got to admit, I'm a little hangry.
Yeah.
If you hadn't noticed.
Grumpy.
Grumpy.
Okay.
All right, on the road. It might not be as quick a getaway as we had hoped for this morning. Matt had the tires rotated on clarity yesterday, and we're going to have to readjust the pressure in the tires. We hope that's all that's wrong, and that he didn't run over a screw in the driveway or something. That would be really, really tough way to start the day. We still have to pick up some food, and we still need to go by the Verizon office. We are still trying to work out our Wi-Fi issues. It's pretty hard to get into Wi-Fi
because of the way they rotated them. And I've got a 75-pound tire on the front, so I just need to readjust the pressure so that they match, and then our warning light will go off.
Welcome to Clarity Off Grid. We're Matt and Kristina. We live off the grid in our self-sustaining home in the mountains of Colorado. And when we aren't working on projects here at home, we're traveling in our Ram ProMaster van that Matt converted into a sweet home on wheels for us and our 2 dogs, Jessie and Lily Bell. Join us as we share living off the grid during the cold and snowy winter months and traveling to new and exciting places. Leave us a comment, introduce yourself, or just say hi. We'd love to know what kind of information you'd like about off-grid living and traveling. If you like this video, make sure you let us know by clicking the like button. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our channel by clicking the red subscribe button and ringing the bell to make sure you get notified when we upload new videos. So we had to let air out of this one.
And pump up the other one.
You know what? You guys got fed, but I didn't. I'm hungry.
Short van, you can do this.
When you miss the exit to the freeway because there was no sign. Oh my gosh, I have lost all track of space and time. I don't even know what time it is. Like, we've just been driving.
4:35.
4:30. Definitely time to take a break and stretch our legs.
We have about an hour and 45 minutes left, but the dogs need a break for sure.
They've been in the van this whole time.
Yeah. Which has been about 5 hours. We're doing okay, 5.5 hours.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm letting the dogs run a bit.
I've said it many times, I know I would change my ways, I know for sure. When all the crows decide to meet, they settle down beneath my feet. I've got it right and I got it wrong, but I learned my lesson hanging on. Come sit here with me by the fire and let it go for a little while. So be here as the night starts falling. Let my fingers walk over your head. We got nothing to be scared of. I'd rather be with you than by myself. Now all is in your hands.
I'm making tom kha soup tonight, which typically if you go to a Thai restaurant and you look at the soups, there's almost always a Kha Gai soup. It means I think, chicken coconut soup. We're not going to put chicken in it. Typically you make it with chicken broth and you add chicken to it and some vegetables and things like that. You also need some very special ingredients to make that, and we have a really hard time where we are getting galangal, which is basically Thai ginger. So I'm going to make it with regular ginger, and I'm going to make it with a vegetable broth, and it's going to be a very loose adaptation of Tom Kha Gai, but it's really good. So I put this packet together before we left because I knew I was going to be making this, but there are a couple of key ingredients. I've got about a teaspoon of chopped dried lemongrass in here, and about 6 kaffir lime leaves, and those really give it this characteristic flavor that you're looking for in this type of soup. Kaffir lime leaves you can get, I buy them online because we can't get them where we are, and they come dried, and it often takes, they come from Asia, and it takes sometimes 3 months for me to get them, but if you live in a city you can probably get them at your local Asian food store. So I'm just putting that whole packet in here, and I'm just going to let it absorb into the liquid. Typically the kaffir lime leaves you would just put in and let them disperse in there while they're cooking, and then usually they're kind of tough and people don't want to eat them, but they really add an amazing flavor. The final ingredient that really makes the difference is limes, and 4 or 5 limes depending on how big they are and how juicy they are. Okay, so we put some rice in the bowl. And we'll top it with some cilantro, and voila!